Pass me my hat and pour me a cup of that Joe. Welcome to the Bleachers Lounge, baby. Let's play ball.
Hello, ballies, and welcome to the Bleachers Lounge, the first, best, and only podcast about issues pertaining to the Hamilton Little League world. We're coming at you live from the Little League World Series in somewhere Pennsylvania. How's everybody doing out there? It's me, your host, Homerun Henderson, and I'm here with all the Little League dads, here to talk about our sons and baseball.
Yeah, all right. Nice intro. Home run. This is Doug Piscoli. How you ballies doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Cliff Mountain's over here, and boy, am I excited to be back in Williamsport.
That's right.
Wow.
And I am, of course, Hal Phillips. I am excited to be here, but of course, laying low.
That's right.
Laying
you got in
low.
big trouble.
I did. I got a
So
little
that
bit.
explains the disguise.
Yeah. So as you guys know,
Hard plastic nose.
yeah,
Little mustache attached to it.
Very little
Tiny
mustache.
wire rim.
yeah.
glasses.
I of course used to live in Pennsylvania, and so was banned from baseball activity here. But I wouldn't miss
How
this
many
trip for
riots
my
did
world.
you start at Pennsylvania Little League games?
It depends on how you classify a riot, because
How
if
do
we're
you
just-
classify it?
I classify a riot as property damage exceeding $33,000.
Specific.
Yeah. So in
Sounds
that
like
case,
you did
You
quite
came in a few
with
times at 32K.
yeah. In that case, I've started 2 riots. If you go by the rule of law, which is just chaotic activity
Well, it
organized by
spikes
groups
up.
of children, it's about 45 riots.
Yeah, it's
twice
really
a year
spikes
for a
up
few years.
after 32. It goes a couple around 32, and then a couple at 200K.
Yeah, the 2 that are over 30 to over 33 were 256,000 K and 322,000
How
K.
does that even? There has to be some social unrest already pre the Little League.
Yeah.
For it to catch
Well,
such fire. It seems
I'll
like
tell you guys,
make it political.
The first one, the 200K one, that one was right around the Lost finale. It was right around the Lost finale.
Yeah, you can't blame that on you.
It was right around the Lost finale, and people in this country were pissed. Okay, it didn't have, bad finale. There was a bad finale,
And they
we
were
were all
confused.
talking.
Speaking for myself, it was confusing.
Yeah,
I was angry.
Yeah.
I was fighting mad.
yeah. So people
Absolutely.
were in the mood to riot already.
Well, and we were organizing. We were so pissed. And where do we organize? The snack bar.
Yeah, there's nowhere else for us. We all
I
are
tried
here.
to vote those writers out of the writers' room.
Hal threw out the first pitch at a game, and he ended up beaning Damon Lindelof.
That's right. Lindelof was in the crowd because his kids played for the Southeast All-Star World Series team, and
You said it's a pile Lindelon, and they killed him, right? He's dead.
Well, he's lost, ironically.
Oh, he's lost. He's
Linda
ironically lost after the Linda pile-on.
And let's just say the papers had a field day with those headlines.
they did.
Yes.
Linda lost. Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Yes.
4, 8,
Pile
15.
Lindelon, of course. Which
4,
I
8,
was
15, 16, 23, 42. Lindelof is gone. Where's
Of course.
Hurley? He was a good character.
I mean, there's a lot of rumors. The one that's the most prevalent is he was smashed dead into the dirt.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what. If you read
'Cause you see
message
his-
boards, that's a lot of what people are
A
saying.
lot of the message boards are saying home plate looks bigger, and they're pretty sure that's Lindelof.
Yeah. See,
Right, because it's home plate is now 6'3", 240 pounds.
Well, they buried him on top of what's his name? I want to say
We won't
Buttafuoco.
know.
Butterbean?
They buried him on top of Butterbean and Buttafuoco.
But
Joey
I mean,
with a
but
Fuco
a Fuco sandwich.
Butterbean Buttafuoco.
That's a lot of, that's a rich sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting that that the World Series here has a Butterbean Butterfuco Lindelof's ice cream sandwich home plate.
Right. There is ice cream in there as well.
There's vanilla. There's vanilla in each layer.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's like a lasagna.
But yeah, so,
but you're hiding here. You
I'm
got the
hiding here.
mustache on.
Right.
You stop by the joke store.
that's true. Joke store on 33rd Street, guys. Check it out.
I will
It's
say
good.
the disguise is working in terms of people not knowing it's you, but it is drawing a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Because it is like, oh, I haven't seen one of these in 30 years. I know exactly what this is.
I had a real
people are
close run-in
stopping
with a
and
cop.
saying,
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah.
a show?
Yeah.
This is funny, right?
I walked past a couple cops having a hot dog on their lunch break or whatever they do, and
Typical.
They loved the thing.
Fuck.
And I
Fucking pigs eating dogs.
We love the community. We're kidding.
yeah,
We're
we
kidding.
love
We
boys.
love the
Of
community.
course, we support the police.
Yeah,
We think they're great. We just think it's funny that pigs eat dogs.
yeah.
That's all.
Imagine
but yeah.
that cartoon, which I have been working on lately.
I says to him, I come up there and I make a joke. I go, huh? Pigs eating pig? Because those are pork dogs for sure. I'm like, there's a little bit of a cannibal situation.
Yeah, you were beat to a pulp.
Yeah.
But luckily, the disguise didn't come off.
Yeah, but people think there's a show that's gonna happen here, and you're gonna be funny.
Yeah, and I do my best.
We gotta break down the game near here. There's a lot of traffic here right near the concession stand where we set up our flimsy little picnic table with a super thin tablecloth.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need the cloth. We're making a lot of noise for the audio.
And are we certain, as far as the table goes, that the little round ring is in the right spot, holding the legs up? You know how you push
It's
the thing
way up at the top,
out? Okay.
which
Well,
is
I will say I have both of my feet under this bottom right leg, so I'm trying to keep this angled up.
You're
high.
holding it up.
yes, big. We're talking. You know, like when a table, one leg is shorter than the other, and it gives a little topple,
rumble.
little rumble. This is not that.
Yeah,
this
usually
falls
you,
over.
You put a few sugar packets under there. I have both feet
Are we sure
stacked
we
on
should
top
have?
of each other underneath the table leg.
You
we
do
want
sugar
Cliff
pack.
doing this because Cliff, you have restless leg syndrome.
Yeah, my cigarettes will not stay on the
I'm
table.
getting a little fidgety.
You know how I unload all the shit in my pockets on the table? That's the type of guy I am.
Right when you sit down, yes.
I unload wallet, keys, everything's unloaded.
Well, and you take a
Cigarette.
picture every day of your daily carry, right? All the little accoutrement you carry.
Oh my God! I lay it out flat on a hardwood floor. I get it all symmetrical, and I snap it and I post it. Do you guys think everything I carry is necessary?
I think you think it's necessary.
What do you guys think?
I think it's 3 too many pocket knives.
Yeah.
You carry a few too many.
Okay,
pocket
so
knives.
I got 6 pocket knives.
Yeah. That's
We're
way
all
too many.
carrying 3.
I understand the photos of your wife and kids, but there's a lot of other photos in there that are people that you don't necessarily, I don't think you're as close to.
a couple of stock photos.
You got an Alice
Yeah,
and Janney
there's some-
picture in there?
Yeah, there's a wishful thinking. I want to meet Jenny. I've always wanted to meet Jenny.
Yeah. I heard her kid is playing in on the Northeast team this year, so maybe she'll be here.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. I wanted to see that. I got a lot of Shutterfly stock images of grass.
That's just son Janny, right?
Son Jenny.
Yeah.
yes. Son Jenny, Allison Jenny's son, is in the World Series. But I
Now you're paying for those stock photos of grass, right? You're buying
I paid
those off of-
$650 for the Shutterflies.
That's good. And you get
No,
use
they're
out
not
of them?
Shutterflies.
Shutterstock.
What are they?
Shutterstock.
Shutterstock.
Shutterfly is like a place where you upload your photos. It's like
Right.
a album, like a digital album site. You do Shutterstock, which you pay
Right.
per pick from Shutterstock, right?
I pay per pick. Yes, I pay per pick. And speaking of, my picks are not good. My paper picks.
Yeah, you haven't figured it out yet, right? You said you've still been working on learning it.
I was talking about the ones I use on my teeth. My paper picks. They don't get the food out.
Well,
They get
yeah,
soggy.
I mean,
Well, you know how they're doing
because you're
paper
going
straws?
green.
They're doing
Yes.
paper picks now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get ahead of this whole. Well, I am capitalizing on the green industry, and I'm making everything out of paper. You guys, we almost made it up here in my paper car.
Almost.
Almost.
We did end up having to rent an SUV.
Yeah. And
Yes.
when we say almost, we got about 20 miles outside of Hamilton.
Well,
and
it
then,
did quickly catch on fire when I filled it up with gas.
I told you premium.
Yeah. I put regular in there, and the paper car quickly caught on fire. Did you guys enjoy your accommodations here?
Absolutely.
I will say the big bad wolf huffed and puffed and blew my paper house down quicker than any of the other ones.
Yeah, the big bad wolf is up here, folks, and he's pissed. He's pissed.
I'll tell you, you think his name is too many superlatives, big and bad, but you see him and it's like, no, he's both. He is a big bad
It's
wolf.
like, occasionally it's like, I see a wolf. I'm not sure if it's the big bad one. You will know, folks.
Yeah.
Well, and he
will know.
stays around the Little League World Series because of his famous kick out. They caught him one year cheating. He did make the All-Star team, but they caught him for being 14 instead
Yes.
of 12.
Yeah, he was
Right.
2 years too old, and people
Which
were like,
in-
"Well, we don't know
in
how
wolf
dogs
years-
or wolves age. Maybe 14. I mean, that's like
That's
2
like
years
300
in a
years
dog.
old.
Yeah, what's that?
300.
300.
300?
300.
14 is 300 years old in dog years.
Definitely.
Well, yeah,
But I
he's
didn't
so
realize-
used to playing old because, and we all said, hey, we all know you did Riding Hood's grandma dirty and dressed up as her, so you've done it before. Sorry to stereotype.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not a
you are
stereotype if it was you.
That's the same wolf in all the tales, folks.
Same
It
wolf.
is, and I thought wolves were mostly dangerous because they're aggressive. They have
No.
razor sharp teeth.
They're tricky.
He huffs, and he will blow you. It's mostly an exhale thing with this wolf.
Yeah.
A big exhale, a cough. I think he's sick.
It should be the big sick wolf.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's actually the problem. He's not actually that bad. He's hurting.
Yeah.
Everybody
That-
thinks he's
well,
mean.
that's what
He's
they-
just
yeah.
got whooping cough.
That's
He
the
just
thing.
thinks.
When he was dressed up as the grandma, that was just a sick quilt.
Sick.
He was shivering.
He was shivering. He needed it.
He just needed those little pigs to let him inside for a moment so he could get out of the elements.
Yeah. He's been living outside
Jesus.
his whole goddamn
The little
life.
pigs are the assholes. And yeah, I mean, like, I actually want to see, because of course the big bad wolf goes after the little pigs. Why don't why don't you go after the big bad pig? Pick on somebody your own size.
That is a
You know?
good point. That is a good point.
And
Big
we know
fat
that-
pig.
The big bad pig is up here. Wait, did you say big fat pig?
Yeah, I made a mistake.
Oh, no. What's
Well,
a different person?
Yeah, you just editorialized. This is are those different people? Big bad and big fat?
The pigs are different people.
Now, does the big fat pig also go to the market and have roast beef, or is that just the little pigs?
That's a good question, home run.
I would assume he needs more food.
So this big fat pig had more roast beef even than this little pig.
You know, guy, I don't know. I don't love how we're talking about the big fat pig. It feels hard to be nice to him and say his name at the same time.
It's true.
I'll say this.
I
You know
heard
what?
he's taking the name back, though.
He's
Well,
trying
yeah.
to, yeah.
The big
You gotta
fat.
love yourself. You gotta love yourself.
have
Which
to.
home run you learned?
Yeah,
You
home
learned
run.
recently.
Big epiphany for home run.
Yes, you all probably recognize me from my most recent episode of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
They did, well, you say episode, but they did a whole season on you.
The first that the queer eyes threw their hands up and gave up. Is that correct?
Yeah, they did a whole season called Fed Up.
It was just multiple attempts at you?
You kept rearranging your house back to look ugly again, right?
They would leave and
Yeah,
I'd be
wouldn't
like,
take-
oh, I get it now. And then they'd come back, and the first thing they'd do is they'd look in my trash can, and there would be a water pick and an electric toothbrush, and I was like, no, thank you.
They couldn't even get you to brush your teeth.
No. I mean, once a night with baking soda, I wash my mouth out.
But you definitely provided many of the moments they usually save to the end where the person cries.
There was a lot of waterworks. Yeah, it is not hard to make me cry. And they did a thing with me where they let me watch the testimonials of my wife and her son, and that stuff is hard to see in person, where they were like, we're just worried about him, we're
Confronted
constantly
with the
disappointed.
reality.
He seems to be living in the past.
You were the first person on Queer Eye to make Anthony throw up 3 times with your cooking, right?
First person to do 3.
Right. He said, well, I'll give you one more shot. He threw up. He said, I'll give you
But
one
you were
more
also
shot.
the first person to do 1 and 2, right? Yeah. So it would just kept being a record.
Yeah, I can't. I'm nothing if not a record breaker. You know me. Most pitches hit right through my head.
Most home runs, of course. Highest batting average against.
Yes,
Most pitches hit right through your head.
Yeah, so these
Is
are
that
pitches.
a record you hold?
Yeah. These are pitches where they're comebackers. You hear those where the batter hits the pitch and it comes back to the pitcher.
The most dangerous play in a baseball game.
Most
And they
dangerous.
go-
Yeah, I tried to turn a quadruple play, and instead I turned 4 ankles.
You kicked 2 other people's ankles
Yeah,
and broke both ears.
I broke both of mine, kicked 2 other ankles. Obviously, if I'm sliding into home, well, first of all, we know what my pants are filled with.
Of course. A little bit of foam.
I forgot about foam. That means you're sick. If you poop out foam on the home plate, you are sick.
Well, and we know what you're sick with. Diarrhea.
Diarrhea.
I wanted to get to the detail because you mentioned a quadruple play. You lobbied to get, when you are pitching, you want an extra out?
Give me another out, baby.
Yeah.
Give me one more chance.
Most people
that
are running
quadruple.
off the field after the 3rd play, and you're screaming, no!
Get back. Hey, you all stop that slow jog with your elbows going high. Come back onto the field for one more out.
Make sure you jump over the foul line, though. Don't step on the foul line, guys. That's the
Over the foul line, bad luck.
Boys, I just looked at my watch, and we are T-minus 2 hours until those big league little leaguers take the plate for batting practice.
Wow.
Wow. Now we're up here for R&D. We're taking a look at how these baseball teams play, and we're going to take it back.
Looking at the gear they use to
thing,
R&D, yeah.
One thing Marty's a little bit curious about is a lot of people are saying he's putting too many weights on his son's bat when his son does practice swings. So Marty, you're here looking to see, how many weights these little leaguers are putting on their bats, right? That's
Who's
Marty
Marty?
Mountains, is that right?
Cliff. Yes.
Marty Mountains is a teacher.
Marty Mountains is a teacher at Hamilton, and you're a big fan of him.
Cliff, sorry.
Oh, yeah, big fan. We get confused all the time, mostly because we have the same last name. We're not brothers, and that's the end of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I came down here to see
Your
how much-
cousins.
Yeah, we're cousins. We're cousins.
It's really not
I don't
the
like
end.
to say that. The end of it is that we're not brothers. Okay, let's not
Okay,
get in
all
deep
right.
to the family tree.
But, okay.
So I'm kind of famous around our league, for coaching the kids and putting weight on the bats.
Weighted bats, weighted gloves, weighted sneakers. You weight everything.
And I've had some of the kids saying, ow, I have tendon damage. This is hurting me. It's too heavy. Because I put, what I'll do is I'll take duct tape and I'll duct tape a 15-pound dumbbell to the end of their bat.
Yeah.
Because when you
weight-
swing with the 15-pound dumbbell and then you take it off, it feels like swinging nothing at all.
You even weight the celebratory sprites at the end of the game?
Absolutely. And that was a problem. Well, the big problem was I weighted some of them and I didn't weight the other ones. You know what
So
I mean?
some people were trying to lift them and they were floating off into the sky because they were expecting it to be heavy.
That's right. A couple people got full sprites thrown in their face because they got picked up.
working then, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, these kids are strong, but it's just not very predictable. You know what I mean? For sport, you want to be predictably
You
strong.
got to be nimble. You got to hit the bat, not just swing it so hard.
That's right.
It disappears.
My team does have the record for most bat home runs. However, they never connect with the ball. They just
let go
throw
of the
the bat over the fence. And unfortunately, those don't count.
No.
Most bat home runs and third most pigeon deaths.
Absolutely. Third most pigeon deaths. I don't know how we're not number one, to be honest. But we've killed 32 pigeons this year, and we have planted 32 trees to apologize.
That's very nice.
Good. You have to do apology trees.
I'll say
You have to.
And
Anytime I do something bad, I plant a tree, and then I wash my hands of it.
Yes. I don't know if you guys have seen the new apple orchard out on Highway 24.
Yeah.
But that was all my transgressions. There's hundreds of trees out there.
Yeah,
But
we're
still mad.
You're good now, but you're clean now. You're
Well,
clean.
because
You're
you're
absolved.
working with your pastor, right?
Yes. My pastor, Johnny Appleseed.
Instead of Hail Marys, he prescribes you apple trees.
Yes. And so we go out there, we get in his little booth. He says, all you have to do to make Jesus forgive you is plant this seed. I have a feeling
His booth, of course, is 2 porta potties on a truck.
2 porta potties on a truck with a hole cut in between each of them. It's disgusting in there. but you know,
And he
it's
insists, he
confession.
said-
It's not for me.
when people come in to confess, he says, listen, this is just confession. Don't let your muscle memory get the best of you. Don't do whatever else happens in a porta potty. People just
And a
can't
couple
help
times he
themselves.
says, don't do what I do.
He is letting it loose in there. He said he'll let, of course, out of your father forgives you.
It's tough to be confessing and hear a splash.
I think the pastor is just trying to get his apple business off the ground, and he's using his parishioners as planters
And fertilizer.
and fertilizer. He brings us in. He quickly gets our poop, makes us plant the trees. It's really ridiculous how obvious it is. But you know, it's
But you say he's helping you, right? It is giving you some spiritual guidance.
Hey, listen, it helps me. I don't tell you what to do with your religion. This is something that helps.
If it's helping them, it's helping them.
This is for me, okay? I don't tell you what you do in your churches. And
You people got their crystals and their tarot readings. You got your apple seeds and porta potty confessionals.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. I don't get it, but if it helps you, go with God.
thank you. I respect your Jewish religion. You respect that I poop in bags and take them to my pastor and we plant trees, okay?
And your whole argument is, hey, we're equally crazy here.
I respect your weird thing.
You have holidays that bring families together, and you know
I
you're-
mostly compost.
yes, and I'm a human dumping machine for apples.
Hey, whatever works.
Whatever
I mean, it has
works,
done
yeah.
wonders for your life. I see you care more about yourself, more about your family, and more about your community.
Well, you see, I have this WWDP bracelet. What would diarrhea produce? And it's the apples.
I'll tell you, I stopped
Answer is
coming.
the apples.
I stopped coming to you for advice, Doug, because it started becoming so confusing. I came to you when my kid had a health scare, and you said, hey, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
What would diarrhea produce right now? And I stormed out of your house. It was infuriating and thoughtless.
Well, it's so simple yet so confusing. It's not hard to grasp what you're saying. It's just hard to grasp what you mean and how
Well,
it works.
all boils down to our golden rule. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Okay? That's what I'm telling you.
I can
That's
I'll
not the
pray to
golden
that.
rule, though.
I'll
I don't
pray to
think that's
that.
really the golden rule. Most
It's
people
the golden
know,
crisp rule. It's the golden crisp rule. Okay?
though. Okay, Doug. Yeah.
Okay?
I can't argue with
believe
that.
you.
I can't argue with that.
Listen, Why is my religion getting under the hot seat right now? I don't come
Under
to
the hot
you and tell you
Exactly.
what to do in your Catholic church. Don't
Exactly.
come to tell me and tell me that
You're right. You're right.
Jesus wasn't born out of a mealy apple husk.
Because Hal, what about some of your spiritual practices? Should we get into it?
I don't see
Hal.
anything wrong. I don't see anything wrong with the way that I practice my Catholicism.
I'd say we've had a few
think
too
they
many goat sacrifices lately.
Oh, come on. Read the Bible, bitch.
It's so old.
Read,
Oh,
Read the Bible, bitch.
read the
that's
Bible, bitch.
always your rebuttal.
Yeah, read the Bible, bitch. Everything I do, you'll find in the book. You'll find it in the book, guys. You'll find it somewhere in the
Yes.
book. I'm not going
Well,
to cite sources. Read the Bible. You'll
You
find it.
almost killed your son on top of a mountain the other day. And we
Hey,
luckily
Abraham,
saved
baby.
you.
Abraham, read the Bible. Abraham. He did it.
But why
He
do you
did the
only say
same
that
thing.
to excuse your behavior? You never really say, I'm following in his lead or anything. You just sort of go like, what? It's in the book. I can.
Because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. All right? I'm trying to lead people to the book so that they can learn the lessons, okay? I'm not going to sit here and preach to them. Like,
I see.
like
You
if
meet
you
them
don't
where
want
they
it,
are.
yeah, if you don't want to read it, you're not going to read it. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, what you should do is go read 1 Corinthians because you'll find out all these wonderful lessons. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you what I think, and then I'm going to say, read the Bible, bitch.
I warn you right now, your son Job is going to have some trust issues.
Oh, yeah? What
Yeah.
makes you say that?
His father has done nothing but torture him. I mean,
hey.
all you do is make him suffer to understand and believe in
Yeah,
God.
I'm
if
sorry,
you
you all
march
have had-
around my house one more time for 7 days playing horns, hoping that the walls will fall down, I'm going to freak out.
Okay, well,
Frankly, you've shown some restraint, Doug.
He's done it 6 days in a row. Yeah,
National
he
anthem.
plays
yeah.
the anthem.
It's the only song I know. That's the only song. I'm teaching my son that song. Listen, I don't know what to tell you guys other than it's worked for me. I'll use the same defense you use for your Apple shit thing. It works for me. If it doesn't work for you, back off.
I respect it.
Okay.
Now, speaking of religion, what do we think about the no longer required pregame prayers before the
That's
Little League games? Because obviously we each, in our own way, started to lead our teams in a pregame prayer.
Yeah.
Well, ritual.
And some would say, due to us, they have now banned the pregame prayers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what it had to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we're living in a modern world. Everybody's different. Everybody's offended. If I make people bake an apple pie right before the game, that's not my religion. I got to respect it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I'm out $1,000 on the costume.
You
So
dressing
that's a
up like the
bummer.
Pope.
Yes.
dressing up like
Well,
the Pope?
a little like the Pope. A Pope with some license. I dress up like the big Pope. And
Right.
the hat's a little bigger. The coat's a little bigger. I want it to be seen from the stands.
A lot of people think it's more tiny Pope. It looks like the Pope has been shrunk in his regular clothes.
Yes, that's sort of the opposite effect of my intent. I wanted him to look big, but instead it makes the clothes look big and the man look tiny. So
Right.
people say tiny Pope, and I say, no, it's the big Pope.
It did
You're not getting
obviously.
it.
It did lead to viral video. Big bad wolf and big fat pig chase tiny Pope.
And it's
Yeah,
like, you
that-
said big fat, you said big bad. Did you have to go tiny? You could have just said big Pope. That's
Right.
what stings, as you can
You were
tell
hoping to
people
get-
don't want me to be successful.
Well, I think you took a step in the right direction recently when you printed the name on the back of the robe with a number. You printed Big Pope.
Yeah.
So you're like, people will call me Big Pope if they see my name on my robe.
And then headlines read, ha ha, ironic. Tiny Pope prints Big Pope. I just can't. People don't get my sense of humor in life.
That's
And
tough.
it
I
leaves
think
me feeling pretty
Yeah.
lonely.
That's across the board with all of us. I think we all run into that issue pretty frequently where people just don't get the joke.
And that's a speak
it's
for
their
yourself. Also, I'll throw that out there as a speak for yourself.
So people are reading you loud and clear, home run.
Don't rope me into that. People love my humor. I mean, it's all baseball humor, dad humor, home run humor.
Well, they do laugh at you. I don't know if it's at jokes.
Okay, well, I think that comedy is all about the differences between men and women.
That's what all of comedy is?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's aging too well, home run. It feels like nowadays it's like, that feels old.
Okay. Well, I just wrote the last half hour of Jerry Seinfeld's special. It's coming out next year. Check it out, and I think you'll see that it's pretty well. It ages pretty well.
So it takes a
very relatable.
turn. It feels okay for the first half, and then the last half feels dated.
Look, let's just say I think that there's a voice women use that's annoying, and women will never understand me. And I think I got Jerry to kind of go hard on that stuff.
You make Jerry do the high-pitched, annoying voice as his wife?
Yeah, I had Jerry do act outs. But, it's all... You guys agree with me. There's a lot of differences between men and women. Men usually have shorter hair.
Hilarious.
Thank you. Women...
There's
That's
no joke
the
there.
difference?
Yeah, there's no joke there. You didn't even structure it like
What
a
are you
joke.
talking about? That is so funny. It's an
Cliff gets it.
observation.
And jokes usually don't have usually in them.
Yeah.
They're like a hard stance.
Have you guys ever noticed that usually women wear bras and men almost never do?
But usually and an almost.
Thank you, Cliff.
I like
You're-
that.
You're
I feel like
waffling.
maybe, you and Cliff maybe have similar life experiences or something, because I don't really get anything you've ever said. If I'm being honest, a joke of yours has never landed with me, home run. Not once.
What on? What about here's a good one. Women, have you ever noticed this? Usually their clothes are cut differently than men's clothes.
Here we go.
That's factual
That's
information.
the first half.
And so, as a man, you're saying, I got to not shop in the women's section or the clothes will fit me differently.
Bazinga.
Of course.
Of course.
Oh, bazinga.
It's like your jokes are more tips. That's like a tip for an idiot.
Now, here's a joke for you, man. Here's a joke for you. If you're going to buy shoes and you buy them in women's sizes, it's not the same as if you buy it in men's size.
Hoo-ah.
So
Cliff is
it's
loving this.
mostly things that I think you have gotten confused about
Yes.
buying clothes.
Oh, really? Look at me right now. Does it look like I shop exclusively by accident
Here's
in the
what
women's
I
section
will
of Target?
say.
Relatable.
Here's what I will say. Those kitten heels are too small for you.
I agree.
I don't know. They're
Not
13.
only are you wearing women's shoes, they're too small shoes.
Okay. So you're saying that my kitten heels and my tank top, which
Are not good for the stadium. That's what we're saying.
Your tank top that says BB on it.
You're not making it up and down the stadium steps very well.
that's for BB King. That's for
No.
ultimate. That's the ultimate man, baby.
What's that BB made out of? What's it put on the shirt? It's a sparkles. Those are rhinestones.
It's a Sparkles.
It's a sparkles home run.
It's a Sparkles home run that ain't BB King.
Okay. Yeah, I got a right mind to chase you guys right out of here, but unfortunately, like Cliff noticed, I'm having trouble getting around the stadium today.
I can tell you why. The
Well,
heels.
what about this? The Little League World Series is famous for some of the best snack bar foods of any baseball. Because
They upgraded this past year.
we're talking Hebrew National hot dogs. We're talking the crispest soda coming out of the machine.
Oh yeah,
boys,
perfect
lines.
mix.
I didn't want to tell you guys this. Stay quiet. I bought a whole roll of those dollar tickets. I bought a
Okay.
whole roll of those dollar snack bar tickets, and I'm going to pass
No.
them out to us, as many as we want.
You scalped
Take
them?
them up to the snack bar. They have to honor them. It's snack bar rules.
Okay, the first thing I'm getting is one of those chalky lollipops that look like you did sand art.
Yes.
Oh, I want a chalky lolly so
Absolutely.
bad.
yummy.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm
Somehow
taking one of
you're
my
eating-
dollar tickets, and I'm getting 20 sour gummy worms.
Oh yes.
Nice.
I might go a little bit nuts with the cow tails.
Okay.
The little caramel with the cream in the middle that's got a nice little flour coating, like a powdery coating on the outside that makes you cough when you inhale it. Oh,
Yes.
love those.
Now, what do we
Fun
think?
dip.
Big order of nachos? No jalapeno?
Oh,
No jalapeno, no cheese for me, please.
No, yeah, not too spicy. I might just ask for cheddar.
Yeah, just chips in a flimsy plastic can.
That's a lunch,
Canister.
baby. Now that's a lunch.
Well, that's the snack bar segment.
Nothing. Well, they did. They did take our submission this year.
That's right.
Did you see that?
Relish only.
Relish only.
Little
Bottle
cup of
of
relish.
relish.
Bottle
Well,
relish.
because we were saying the relish line is always too long because you got to crank it out of that little thing and it just tips out. So we got one dedicated stand that's the only place you can get relish in the park.
And here's what all the good dads know is the relish is like the water cooler at the office. That's
Oh,
where all the
yes.
good gossip happens, the good talk, maybe some trades happen.
No
I traded
kids
my
at the relish station.
Yeah.
No
and,
kids.
And none of these dickheads who don't like relish. Okay? That's the worst thing is when you get a hot dog, you throw some relish on it, and some dickhead looks at it when you're walking by, and he's just like, Jesus, you put all that chopped up pickle on there?
Well, I got yelled at last time I was at the station because I took 25 minutes to make my own exactly perfect Thousand Island.
Wow.
I sat there with the relish and the mayo and the ketchup and the mustard, and I said, not quite right, needs a little more
quite.
relish. Try
Right.
it again. Not quite right, needs a little more mayo. And these people, and I'm backing up the line.
You ended up. The batch you made was so huge.
It was
because it was a little bit
gigantic.
more, a little bit more. Oh, it's too much.
They had to do
Huge
refills.
vat.
I would say it was about a 1,500 island.
I agree. I agree. Well, you know those
was a 1,500
the
gallon
ballpark nacho they put in the helmet. I had
Yeah.
to buy a helmet just for the sauce I made. But I took
Yeah.
it home. I put it in the fridge after it had sat in the sun all day, and it was still okay.
Well, we've all seen Cliff's cooking videos, and they are a lot about evening things out. So
Yeah.
you always start with a bowl that's a little too small, so you have way more dishes at the end.
Well, what do I always say? Cooking is not a science. Nobody technically knows how to do it right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always an experiment.
It's just it's always little of this, little of that. The dash.
A dash, a smidge,
Yes, I like to keep it loose.
a
know what I mean?
splash.
A
Yeah.
big splash.
It makes sense
Pinch.
why none of your food makes sense, and it tastes bad.
It does
Did you
make
get-
sense, but I'll say the videos are funny.
The
Because-
videos are funny because usually the I don't even know what they're called, but the EPA shows up for mass
know what they're called.
waste. I think it's the EPA.
yeah.
It's the people. It's the people from ET, right? They show up in the full.
Yeah, I've had the
Yes.
ET thing done a couple times to the
The
outside of my
ETA.
house where they put up the big plastic wrap and the outbreak
Right.
guys come
There's a
in. I've had
tunnel.
that happen. I've also
Sanitation
had
tunnel.
the food and beverage people come over and give
Well-
me a D.
Yeah, because one of your creme brulees opened up a portal to another universe. Is that correct?
Yes, and crim is right. There was no cream in it. It was a creme brulee. And
Which means what? Is it like
yeah, it's ash. It's ash.
It's ash.
It's ashes.
It's
It's exactly
crim
what it
equals
sounds
ash.
like. Crim
It's
equals
crim.
ash.
It's
Instead
ash.
of
We all know.
creme. Yeah.
Don't you hate when you're camping and the fire has gone too long and it's just all crim when you wake up in the morning?
Absolutely. When there's too much crim, then your fire stinks.
Yeah. Or I do
Gets
love
you
it
smoking.
though. If you can smoke, as I mentioned earlier, I smoke cigarettes and despite everything that's ever been told to me my whole life, I smoke them. Despite the obvious warnings and deaths in my family.
Well, you look
And-
20 years older than any of your peers.
That yes, and that's because of the cigarettes. It's a direct correlation. My breath, my everything. Everything is exactly
All the
cigarettes.
bad stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, sometimes when I smoke a cigarette, it's really awesome when I can keep a really long crim, an
Yes.
unbroken crim.
There's a real art to that. Let everybody know you've been
What's
here a
your
minute.
favorite crim moments?
I love going to Crim Wednesdays. That's my favorite.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my favorite holiday. I'm
Of course,
walking
for
around
you.
all day long. People are looking at me crazy, and I'm like, "Hey, read the Bible, bitch! It's from Crim Wednesday."
Right.
And so,
they're-
'cause of course, at my church, it's a full cross that goes straight down your face. It kind of looks like a Braveheart situation, except it's with ashes.
They
People are
really
like,
go nuts with the crim at your
yeah.
church.
They're like, this feels like war paint. And I say, hey, every day's a war on God's earth.
Wow, that's
Wow.
intense.
Yeah. I've gotten really religious, by the way. And I don't
have.
think we've touched on exactly
They
how
all
religious I
do
am.
it to you.
Yeah.
You're aggressively religious now.
Yeah. It's become a problem in the household, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But we don't need to get. We already talked too much about
What are you
my
talking about?
kids
You're
and
too religious for your family?
stuff. Too religious for my wife. My wife says, "Baby, you
Oh.
gone too far."
Now, this is I don't think this is a difference between men and women either. You know how men be too religious?
Yeah.
Well,
women
we'll see.
never
We'll
be?
see.
I don't think it's.
I have noticed that.
It's
Oh,
felt like a
Mama's
very.
writing down something over there.
It's felt like a very unique problem to my household, if I'm being
Right.
honest.
You're
'Cause
too
that's-
really
religious for
quickly-
your wife.
Really quickly, before we move on, home run, what's your favorite crim moment?
Well, you know, I grew up in Crimville, North Carolina, and so
Of course.
you love the
when
mountains.
I love the mountains. When I think of Crim, I think of growing up in Crimville.
All the-
Okay. All right.
Beautiful.
So you're too religious for your wife, Hal?
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and so the issue is mostly that it's hard for her to even get to her meals because of your grace is too long, right?
Yeah, well, listen, I wholeheartedly believe that every time you say grace, you got to say everything you're thankful for. And like
I heard after
That
your
list is
last
too long.
amen, Guinness screeched to a halt.
that's true. Guinness, and then I had to start over because I said, "Dear God, I thought I was done, but the Guinness guys just showed up." And
You
I
had to
tell you
pray
this,
for Guinness.
grace. I'll say some grace for these Guinness boys. And these guys barged right in, and I was like, "This is interesting. That this is how you guys operate." I didn't know that was the way that they operate. They screech to a halt. They kick down your door. They come in and they slap a plaque on your wall. And I'm like,
It's almost SWAT-like.
Yeah.
Guinness.
it's crazy. I was like, Jesus Christ, guys,
I
call
think
first.
that
Knock.
Guinness's relationship with the NSA is a little too tight. The fact that they can hear everything we're doing so that they can screech to a halt and come.
Well,
into our
that was
place and
part of the
whatever.
Patriot Act.
It was,
mostly
yeah.
We gave
it was
up our
mostly
rights.
to get Guinness in the
We
know.
gave up our
Well, ever
rights for
since-
Guinness.
Ever since they started giving out records for everything, a lot of people were like, "No, I don't want this one. I don't want
Right.
to be in the book." I
Well-
do not. So they're trying to hide from Guinness. So Guinness has to sort of creep up and get the element of surprise.
It does feel like Guinness is the reason we were in the Middle East. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like there's a
Longest
there's
war.
a
Well,
cor-
the
there's
reason
a-
we got in and the reason we got out.
there's a direct correlation with Guinness wanting to listen in on our records and, you know, what
Yeah.
happened in New York.
That's right.
course,
That's right.
we all
well, you know
remember.
how they
Of course.
found. You know how they found the big bad guy over there. Guinness
big
went
bad-
over there. Guinness went over there to give him a record for worst guy.
Really?
They found him, screeched to a halt, and that alerted SEAL Team 6.
So you're telling me that Abbottabad heard the classic Guinness screech. He was about to be awarded worst guy. And then SEAL Team said, got wind of it over the PA. Not,
Yes, the PA.
not the
No, it was.
public
Not
announce
the-
system.
Not the CB, not the
Not the
radio,
CB.
No,
not
it was,
public address.
They were,
Public
they were obviously announcing the congratulating the homecoming king and queen over the PA,
Right.
and also they heard the Guinness,
So Osama's
the big bad guy.
the big bad guy. Well, are we saying his name? Are we back saying his name, or are we just calling him the big bad guy?
I mean,
Because I don't want to respect him and say his name.
I won't say it. I won't give him the
okay,
respect
so the big
of saying
bad
his name.
guy, his ego's so big that of course he's coming out immediately greeting Guinness, relishing. No
Relish.
pun intended. We're close to
Yum.
relish booth. Um,
Close.
relish.
It is hard to get off your mind when you're this close.
I mean, you know how onions make your eyes water?
Yeah.
Relish makes us slobber.
That's right.
We're
Pavlov.
over here like
Perfect
mutts.
analogy.
Pavlov.
Perfect. Anyway, the big bad guy, his hubris got to him. And
Well,
so
and they
from
had tried a few other things, you know. They tried Publishers Clearinghouse with him, but he wouldn't come to the door.
Yeah.
That's right.
He didn't need the money.
He didn't need the money.
He didn't need the money.
But he could not resist Guinness, and that's what got to him finally. And
Yeah,
rest-
thank you, Guinness.
Guinness,
That's
thank
it.
you for your service, like we always have
But
said.
it's kind of like Guinness started the whole thing and they solved it. So, like, no thanks, Guinness.
no thanks. Well, I've been, Guinness found me in a little dirt hutch. I was hiding out, growing a long beard, because I just was done getting some of their awards.
I hear you.
It was,
Right.
I had gotten so many, and they were almost all hurtful.
Longest object ever hit.
Longest
right?
object ever hit?
Yeah, you threw a pitch and someone hit it, and it was the longest flight ever.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Someone,
Right. First speed of sound baseball.
First speed
off
of
of
sound
you?
baseball.
First baseball to enter orbit.
First baseball to make contact with the aliens.
Longest cry on the mound.
Long, longest cry on the mound, which is unfair. I will say it's unfair.
Most
I wouldn't have been so long if we didn't go into extra innings.
Most foam sliding into home.
Most folks, most manager pitcher on the mound conversations.
Most and longest.
And the sort of the hand in hand goal with that one was the most times refused to be subbed out.
Most refused to sub out. First and longest hands and knees begging manager to not be taken out.
Most
pitcher manager toothpick confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we all remember that me and the manager both ran back to the dugout with the same toothpick in our mouth, as if it was a Chinese finger trap.
Yeah.
Okay. Most, it's not my arm, it's the rosin bags.
That's right. For a year and a half, I was throwing the worst screwballs because the rosin bags were all messed up.
How are they messed up?
I actually would argue it was the best screwball because it would turn around and boomerang and hit your ass between the eyes.
Yeah, for one whole year and a half, my screwball would go all the way around the catcher and the umpire and come back and hit me dead between the eyes. I couldn't get away from it. And my hands were very dusty. I say because of the rosin bag. Other people say because of dry skin.
Well, doctor.
Well, you were creating your own rosin bags in real time.
Yeah, they used me for rosin for a couple years. I toured with the Strokes, and they used my hand dust for cocaine.
It worked? Did it, or was it a placebo?
Hey,
They were
listen
trying
to
to
their
get
new album.
off it. They were trying to get off it.
Yeah,
right?
they were trying to get off
It's
it. They were
like
using it like methadone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys! I can't tell you how excited I am. But I brought my autograph book. I'm hoping
Oh,
to
yeah?
get some of these
Okay.
kids to fill it up.
Oh, you gotta get Sanderson,
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
Sunjani as well. Let's not
North
forget
California's shortstop.
that's right. Most
What a-
stolen bases in an inning with 26.
Wow. That's
Right.
insane. That was such a long inning,
It was a really long inning. They
and
were
he
really
w-
trouncing that team, and
and
he
it was
just-
never
pew,
a
pew.
pinch running either. He went up to bat 26 divided by 3. You got
That was a high scoring game.
Yeah.
for
It
baseball.
was. A lot of
And
people
it
said it
was
should
the
have been
score-
mercy ruled.
The
'Cause it
score
was
at
a
the end
4-day
was
game.
yeah. The score at the end was like 120-94, right?
Yes, yeah, it was a tough
Both
game.
teams did well, really. Like I mean,
Really well.
in that
Well, both
context.
Not a
teams
lot
did
of
well,
defense played.
I remember seeing the score and going, "What is this? A high-scoring football game?"
But yeah, you tried to say that a lot. I remember you were trying to get on all
Why
the
wouldn't
news
you
outlets.
say, "What is this? A basketball game?" Why wouldn't you say that?
I don't know. I guess that makes sense too.
It
I
seems
guess
like
to me,
almost exactly a high-scoring basketball game. That's why the guy who said it was like a high-scoring basketball game got on the news, and you picketed his funeral.
yeah. Well, rotten hell for getting on the news instead of me, and I picked it at his funeral, and I heckled. I heckled the
A
eulogies.
sick man got a moment in the sun towards the end of his life, saying it was like a high-scoring.
It was his
basketball
make-a-wish
game.
to come to the Little League World Series.
That's right. Well, and,
That's right.
they said, and for a while they couldn't get him in. They said, "Hey, could you dream a little smaller?" And he said,
Right.
"No, this is what I want."
What about the little league? What about the little league semifinals?
He said, "No, I want the World Series." So they finally got him in. He passed shortly after, and I heckled the funeral. Obviously, you saw I made it into the open casket for a little bit of a prank there. I caught the flowers at the end, so I'm next.
Yeah, that was a strange, but people can do what they want to do in their religion.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was kind of a strange moment when they threw the flowers. I don't know
Now-
if they threw the flowers or if you fell on a bouquet, it kind of seesawed it up into the air and you caught them and you screamed,
Yeah, I would
I'm
say
getting married next.
you were treating the ceremony more like a wedding than most of the other people.
Yeah, luckily I couldn't get the casket in the air for the horror.
I will say it was crazy how long you spoke when you asked if anyone had any objections.
Yeah,
And everybody raised their hand and said, big yes.
Yeah.
And you were very drunk at the end.
yeah. I ended up getting drunk and talking to his dad and being like, "Isn't it crazy that I was in high school and you were an adult and now we're drunk together?" And
You sang Sweet Caroline.
I tried.
You kept
yeah.
complaining, where's the fish option?
Yeah, where's the fish option? Where's
Yeah,
the
you
beef? I
wrote
would
a big
say.
Yelp review, of the catering at the funeral.
Yeah. My Yelp account is all funeral catering reviews.
Well, yeah, because it is an important service. It's not something that people do a lot, so you
You
don't
don't
want
want
to
to
get it
skip
wrong.
on it. You don't want to skip. And I go somber with the review, and I write it very poetically, as if it's a funeral. But Cliff, I did want to ask.
It is a funeral.
Sure. I wanted to ask Cliff, how do the kids' parents react when you try to get their kids' autographs? Because I know it's usually the other way around, that a kid is trying to get, Giannis Antetokounmpo's autograph or another basketball player.
I got to be honest. I see their worry at first, and it makes sense. I'm pretty excited. I go down there pretty hard, and I just say, hey, we've all been kids before, and I get in there and I elbow the other kids. I don't care. I try to get the autograph.
You make some room.
And then the parents realize that, you know what, this is genuine.
Very
This is
genuine.
heartfelt. This adult man needs these autographs, and they usually step out of the way.
I think the fact that your autograph book has Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, and
Yeah, I don't know what it is. They just don't seem to give me much trouble.
They see that.
They just kind of let me in and get all the autographs, and I'm aggressive about it, and everybody just sort of, it seems like they notice, but they just don't do much.
You got your backpack hiked up and you're holding the straps.
Well, I usually come right from the airport, so I have everything with me. Yeah.
Yeah. You're a weird Disney adult for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know if I'm weird, but I am a Disney adult.
Well,
I do wear the hat all
I guess
day.
it's a little redundant. You're a Disney adult.
I am a
Mickey-
Disney adult. I have the pass. I have the
You
autograph
fell
book.
out of Space Mountain, right? On a turn.
Yeah, I fell out of Space Mountain, and I'll tell you what, that is a fast pass to a lifetime pass at Disneyland. Okay, all you got to do if you want Disney to owe you is fall out of Space Mountain.
And it's not an easy fall down. You
no.
ended up back on the ride, right?
Yeah, you bang on the tracks a little bit.
But
and
I
you
will
end up
say it
back
was
in the-
premeditated. I came in with a tool. I put it right in between the seatbelt so it didn't fully latch, because they
Nice.
know about this. They know about the scheme that everybody runs where you
Right.
fall out of Space Mountain to get a free lifetime pass.
Now, did you ever, because I know I saw you on a few other rides, did you ever end up catching Captain Jack Sparrow? I know you were kind of chasing him in circles for a while.
No, we are still in our little cat and mouse game. He doesn't want to get caught. For some reason, he keeps tricking me. And I was really embarrassed because I found out it wasn't the real Jack Sparrow. It was,
And
it was a
Brian.
hologram. And
hologram.
I keep jumping through the waterfall thinking I'm going to catch him. and I end up just getting wet and crumpled up on the tracks.
Right.
Crumpled.
Well, yeah, the boat comes and runs over me. I get stuck in between the underwater underneath the boat in between the tracks.
I have
And
seen
didn't somehow your heart was taken out of your chest, Kali Ma style, right?
I mean, technically, yeah.
in the
on a
in the Indiana
technicality.
Jones.
Technically, on the Indiana Jones ride, absolutely. You know how you're in there and they shoot all the spears with just air?
Right.
Well, I got a real one. And it shot right through my heart, pulled it right out. I also, right before the end, a trap door opened. I looked at the Ark of the Covenant. That's why I look like this.
Wow.
Okay. So
We
it
should-
wasn't that man who pulls out the hearts and goes Kali Ma. It was you got shot with a spike and you screamed Kali Ma?
I think I got the buffet. I don't know.
Okay.
I went through Indiana Jones, and I think I got a little bit of
Well, you were flattened by the big rock, that's for sure, right after Kali Ma.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
But hey, Disneyland's a blast. Disneyland is an A1 blast, especially when it's free. You don't have to open your wallet.
Yes.
Yeah, you get all those passes. You eat a lot there. I'll say that. You go through all the food.
Thank
and
you, yeah.
you tour the world.
You get a
Absolutely.
cameo in all of the new Pixar films. You get to say voices and stuff.
Yes, I get to do voices. They said absolutely no image work. They said
see.
you cannot do image work. but
And
we'll put you in all
absolutely,
the
there's a
anima-
big box around it, and it's double highlighted, right?
Yes. They want me to see that there's no wiggle room on this.
And Mickey
see.
holds you as his baton during the parade, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that hurts. That hurts, and it is disorienting. Because sometimes he throws it up in the air and he doesn't catch it because he's got felt hands.
Right.
So yeah, I've hit my whole head on the ground before.
I think they
Yeah.
got to hire a better Mickey who can actually do all the stunts that they require of him.
Agreed.
Yeah, that-
Apparently
it's-
he's
it's
union.
become a
Apparently
problem.
he's
Oh.
union and
He's
got
union.
lazy.
It's the union's fault.
Hey, I big ups to
Fucking
unions.
unions.
I love a union, so I ain't
Fucking
gonna
union.
complain about that.
Fucking Mickey Union's a bunch of bullshit.
Hey, come on, these guys gotta have a union, guys. Don't come out against Mickey's union.
This fucking Mickey's union. It's just horseshit what they're trying to
my
do.
thing is, I don't have a problem against the Mickeys. I got a problem with Goofy, who's taking money from Mickey, from Daffy, from Daisy. And then what's Goofy doing? He's just sitting around in his castle.
Goofy works harder than Mickey. In
Ow.
my
Goofy
opinion.
works a lot harder than Mickey.
Well, that's why he's the union boss, I guess.
The Goofy is?
They all work hard, guys. Don't. It's not this.
What are you?
Why are we
what
pulling
you
apart
pushing
this?
over here?
Well, we all know the Mickey's union buried Jimmy Hoffa under home plate, which is the name I was trying to think of 35 minutes ago.
Oh, right.
So that sandwich got another layer. It's
That's
Lindelof, Butterbean,
Lindelof, Butterbean,
vanilla ice cream,
Butterfuco.
Butterfuco,
Butterfuco,
and Hoffra.
and Hoffman. Or Hoffa.
Dustin Hoffra?
Dustin Hoffra,
And Jimmy Hoffman.
Jimmy Hoffa. No, fellas, as we get ready to watch the game, is there something that you're hoping, your teams, when you can come home, can improve upon, or your sons can improve upon? I know it's a harder question for Doug to answer since he traded his kids to a Puerto Rican Little League team for a couple of young prospects.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to learn the language of everyone on my team.
I see.
Because I
Love
have-
language?
Yes.
Or language?
Is it touch? Is it gifts? Is it
Words of
affirmations?
affirmations, yeah.
Yeah, like, because that's how
Acts
you
of
get to know
service.
your team. I have, of course, traded every kid's son to different countries, and I have a worldwide team
Yeah.
who is very, very good.
You
but
got
I
him.
don't know any of them's love languages because I got one the other
Or
day. I got him-
speaking languages.
Or speaking language?
or
Yeah.
speaking languages.
But if you know the love language, you don't need the
yes,
speaking language.
it's nonverbal, the love language.
Yeah.
I was giving them Legos. Turns out one of the kids' love languages was words of affirmation.
Oh, yeah. He didn't
And
need
I
the gift.
can't speak the language, so I can't say, like, good job, you're really pulling your weight.
Right. You helped one of the kids with a project he was working on. And he was like, these acts of service aren't that important to me.
Yeah, I just want words of affirmation.
words of affirmation.
And it seems
It
most
seems like-
of their love
I was gonna
languages are
say.
words of affirmation, which I cannot deliver on.
Yeah, it seems like that's what we're realizing here. 2 out of the 12 already have words of affirmation.
Which
It
is too
feels
bad
like-
because it's the one that you refuse to do.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's tough.
You'll get
but
there. Just
here's
do
what I
Duolingo.
am learning. All of their numbers, their
Enneagrams?
enneagrams.
Yeah, that's
I've
Oh.
learned all of their enneagrams. They're all 8s. They're psychotic. They're ego-driven psychos. So I know that about them.
that's a start. That's a start. All you
I
need
did
is a
that
little bit.
Enneagram and I got a 57.
Oh, that means you're legally dead.
It sounds like my tarot card reading.
Well, and those tests are accurate, so you might want to
Yeah.
take it again.
Didn't you, when you got a tarot card, it was like the Queen, the rising sun, and then a lung X-ray that was heavily cloudy. Right?
Yeah. My tarot, it looks like my lungs are in the house of death.
Damn, home run.
That's
You
right.
need to
unfortunate.
make arrangements. What are you going to do at your own funeral?
I do need to make arrangements.
You need to make some damn arrangements. What are the arrangements?
Have you
If
guys
make
made
them?
arrangements?
Yeah,
I got a will.
yeah.
I got a will.
Oh yeah.
You do.
Oh,
My
yeah.
one arrangement: dig a hole, no casket, under a tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
I didn't make an
Okay.
arrangement. I didn't make arrangements, but I made an arrangement with the funeral home
Okay. So they know.
where we have an
You have a
arrangement
deal.
where I fuck them for a funeral. We have an arrangement.
Okay.
So I guess I've made
a
arrangements.
relational arrangement.
Yes. yes.
Well, I thought I had my affairs in order and I made all my arrangements, but it turned out I had just made some edible arrangements.
And you think those are
And
going to
you
go
were-
bad?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you were ordered to have an affair?
Yeah, so I made an edible arrangement. What about you? What about you, Hal?
What am I trying to learn this season?
No, your arrangements.
I
we
thought
moved on.
we were
We're
getting back to
talking
the
about
first topic.
Yeah,
but
what's
we're,
up with
we're
your
in the
funeral?
midst of
This one.
What's
oh,
your
my
arrangement?
arrangements.
Hal, you got to learn to talk about death. I feel like one of the reasons you're so religious is your fear of death.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, my
that's true.
arrangements I made with my wife is for me to handle it when she dies, because as she knows, I am immortal. So I got her figured
That's
out.
not what the.
Yeah, I got her
No,
figured out.
you
I got the
live
kids figured
forever
out. I
in
said,
heaven.
No. That's
Oh?
read the Bible, bitch. Read the Bible, bitch. Listen,
that works.
Yeah. I of course will have everlasting life because I've accepted the Lord Jesus Christ into my heart as my Lord and Savior. I will be sort of driven by the engine of the Holy Spirit until the day that the universe explodes.
The Holy Spirit will drive your engine.
Yeah. And I talk to my wife. I talk to both of my kids. When they die, I get their stereos.
There's a lot of miles on that engine, Hal.
Yeah, I know. It's reliable.
You need to make arrangements.
It's reliable. It's the most reliable engine in the universe, okay?
You did your kids' will and you get their stereo?
Yeah.
Here, drink this. It's the blood of Christ.
Huh? I don't.
It's apple
dude,
juice.
I mainline that shit, okay? I don't need to drink the blood of Christ. I get a transfusion every week.
Oh, well, that's because your kidneys are toast.
That's what you think. That's because my kidneys have already been given over to the celestial.
Okay.
You guys don't want to get into it. I can
But
No,
tell.
you
they've
you
been
don't-
given
They're a
over to
problem.
the
You just think they're
Centennial.
already dead.
They haven't been given over to the Celestial. They've been given to the Centennial Hospital for studies.
Yeah, I think you
Potato,
read that email
potato,
wrong.
potato. Doug, potato,
No,
potato.
Celestial Centennial.
Yeah, they're
You're
the same
confused.
thing. No, they're the same thing. They're the same thing.
You're currently kidneyless, Hal.
Yeah, you can't eat anything outside of what you're comfortable with, or
Yeah,
else
I'm
you cannot
kidneyless.
process it.
I'm kidneyless, but I'm part bionic. I carry this machine around with me that's connected. It does all the work for me. You
That's
guys,
dialysis.
Well, I'm trying to bring home from the World Series to my team
Wait, we need to talk about your arrangements too. You can't just circle back to the original topic. We haven't gotten to your arrangement.
Oh, yeah. Bury me under a tree, no casket.
Oh, we did. Yours. I'm sorry.
I want to
I'm
leave.
sorry.
Back into the tree. Well, hey, we actually need some compost for the apple trees. So if you would,
Yeah.
we could bury your ass out there for the Lord.
Chop me up. Let the pigs eat me. I don't care. I'm dead. Let the big fat pig eat me. I don't care.
No.
So what I'm trying to bring back to my team is listening from the boys. I just can't figure out why my team won't listen and all these kids listen so good. So I'm trying to figure out what are the coaches saying to get them to listen. Usually I start to practice by just going, hey, what's going on? What are you guys doing? I just sort of criticize the players for not already playing good.
Right.
And I don't have a lot of direction,
I hope you do get those kids to listen to you, because I know, you had to take over as third base coach and you couldn't even get a kid to slide or round third. They would not do whatever you were saying.
Not at all. I don't know why. I don't know if it's that these kids don't respect me or if it's that I'm being confusing and they don't know when to listen and when to ignore it.
Right.
Or if it's just that I'm facing the wrong way when I'm coaching third. I'm not sure.
Opposite team's dugout.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm coaching third, but I'm looking straight into the first base dugout from the first base side. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, folks, I think it's time for my next hot dog and for me to not do this anymore.
Yeah, it looks like they're warming up out here on the field, so we need to get out there and check out the prospects and, find out what these coaches are doing if they're waiting the bat.
Let's see if they let us on the field today.
Yeah, we're going to rush the field immediately right now.
All right. Well, we're going to head out and rush the field. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you at the next game. And until
All right,
then,
everybody take your clothes off. Everybody take your clothes off. Take your clothes off. Get naked. Get
Just
naked. We're rushing the field.
walking down,
We're
no
rushing
big
the field.
deal.
Here we go.
they're putting out the rain tarp. They're pulling out the rain tarp.
Hello, ballies. Woo!
Woo!
Autograph.
Oh, here come the pigs to arrest us.
Oh, here
What,
they
you had your
come.
nice lunch?
Again? Are you serious? Again?
Come
You
on,
know
man.
that's
I'm
not
ready.
your real mustache,
Get the Lord
sir.
to help us.
Pretty weird that
Lord
you're
to help
touching me
us.
when I'm nude. Pretty weird that you touch me when I'm naked.
We're getting touched. We're getting touched when we're nude. How?
I searched her down and the game was done. I got a wrap around Oakley's tan that'll never come on. Toss me my hat and pour me a cup of that Joe. Welcome to the Bleachers Lounge, baby. You're out of here.
If you enjoyed the Teachers Lounge, make sure to check out their bonus mini episodes available on Stitcher Premium. Just go to stitcherpremium.com/teacher and use the promo code TEACHER for your first month free. Also, the guys would like to thank Casey Trela, who made the incredible theme song for the show. You can check out his music at Casey Trela, that's Trela, on Twitter. Finally, the Teachers Lounge has a lot of great merch available. Just go to podswag.com/teacher and see for yourself. Thanks for listening.